So we've had another record year of fund migrations of existing funds from other providers to Ocorian. So Charlotte, talk to us a bit about what are some of the common reasons that we see as a team that clients choose to switch fund administration providers?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big decision if a client is going to move, pack up shop and move everything over to a new administrator. Things have to be in a pretty poor state, and we certainly see that with the data that we receive. So fundamentally, you're looking at a loss of trust. Things have gone wrong. Your investors are upset. Deadlines are being missed, and it's just an uphill struggle. And that really is the main reasons why people speak to us. There's obviously lots of things that we're doing and trying to stand out in this market, but fundamentally, things are broken at their current setup and they want to change.
And it's always a mix of both push and pull factors,
Exactly.
as you say, but there is also a lot of complexity, operational, technological data, and regulatory in some instances, depending on the structure of the fund and the domicile in the switching. So, what are some of the challenges that prevent client from making the decision to switch and stop tolerating some of the issues that they have?
Well, it can be a lot of work, and that is what would put a client off potentially moving when things have got to the state that, that trust is lost. And that's, where we come in, because we really do try and project manage end to end, deal with the outgoing administrator, make sure that we're only asking for what we need for that next section of the migration. This is really critical, because the outgoing administrator needs to continue to deliver on a BAU basis, but also then give us what we need so that we can start building our books and records. So, running sprints, just requesting what we need, and then, getting what we can do the most with early on in the process definitely helps.
Which is why we spend so much time focused on how we can help mitigate some of these risks for clients and remove as much friction from that process as possible. And your dedicated team on that really helps.
And when I'm speaking to people, there's a handful that spring to mind, certainly here in the city, where you've been complaining to me for the last 3-4 years, and you're still in the same shop. If I was your CEO, I'd be like, "What are you doing to fix this?" Because now the investors are making some noise; they're not happy. I know the CFO takes a lot of that pressure on their shoulders, but there's other elements at play that should be not forcing them, but pushed in the direction to force that change through. Because you should not accept mediocrity as a service provider in this world.
For sure, and I think you're spot on, right? There is a level of tolerance with any outsourced provision. For a level of errors is something not going right. But for the provider whose sole job, like our own, is to deliver that service, there should be no tolerance for those errors. And it's about how you respond and improve the control environment every time something does go wrong. So that level of, patience with mediocrity is maybe acceptable to clients up to a point in time.
Yeah. And I think what breaks it is the investors. If the investors start moaning, you're kind of done as that service provider. And I think some GPs take the view that it's better the devil you know in the world of administration. I don't necessarily agree with that view, but I'd always say to them, if errors aren't getting addressed and there's repeated errors, how much they actually value the relationship if they're not addressing those at the fundamental level. Yeah. You can fly in a CRM guy who can cover it up, make it look pretty for a period of time, but if the servicing aspect doesn't improve.
Look, we always say our business at the core as an outsourced process provider and a partner team is pretty simple. We should do what we say we're going to do on time and get it right first time. So it's about building a business and processes and architecture around being able to do that consistently is where the trick is.
Totally.
Exactly. But I think, once we get an opportunity to showcase what we've built, showcase our technology stack, explain how we would operate, and, we'll get an NDA signed, we'll get structure charts, we'll get documents, and we will talk them through how we would handle, that particular mandate. The conversation very quickly.
It changes significantly. We were on a pitch yesterday where that exact thing happened. We've been talking to, and this is a migration, we've been talking to this particular GP for quite a while. And we're now in the deep dive on kind of how we would set it up and run certain aspects. And they sent us over kind of a workflow, an Excel file workflow process. And they asked us, okay, build that in your system, show us how it would work. We played that back to them. And it was kind of a light bulb moment for them. And you could see it in their eyes. So, can it do this? Can it do that? Can we have that? Well, yes, but there's a process. We've got to think about the building blocks. Let's get the quick wins done first, and then we can expand from that accordingly.